Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Tittle Tattle Tarot. I would very much like today to try and get an energy read and see if we can connect with Vincent van Gogh. And what I really want to know is a very small period in time in this man's life, in 1888, when he lost his ear was cut off. What on earth happened? What happened in Arles, in that little yellow house, between him and Paul Gauguin? What happened? What was the relationship like? And what on earth happened with this ear incident? So many tales, so many weird things that are said. What's true and what's lies? I really want to try and connect with Van Gogh and see if we can work out via the Shadowland Tarot what might have happened on that terrible night in 1888. So I'm going to call Van Gogh Vincent. I'm going to call him Vincent and I'm going to ask him questions and hopefully his energy will come through and we'll find out a little bit more about this whole incident, what happened. So I have very specific questions to ask and they're here. So Vincent, we're going back to 1888. 1888. And Vincent, I would like to know from you whether you were actually hearing voices. Were you hearing voices or was it ringing in your ears? Was something driving you crazy in your mind? You could hear voices perhaps, or you could hear this ringing, and to get rid of it, to try and get rid of these noises, these voices, did you just turn to getting a knife and cutting at your ear to try and stop the ringing, to try and stop the voices? Is that what happened in 1888? Was it to stop the sound? Stop the sound. Is that what happened, Vincent? Judgment in reverse, discretion, judgment in reverse. No, that was not the reason. It wasn't, that was what was causing it. If it had been that way up, yes, that was my judgment that I was hearing these voices. Yes, I was hearing this, and the only way that I could get rid of the voices, the ringing, the noise in my head was to do that. That was my judgment over that situation, and I took that action to do that. We have that in reverse. From that first card, no, that wasn't the reason. Let me just pull another card just to clarify that this was not the reason, Vincent. Have one more. The Pentacles are holding on cards, and the Magician. There were things going on in this house between him and Paul Gauguin. Pentacles, there were money troubles. It wasn't so much voices and noises in his ears. There were money troubles. Neither of them were making very much money. They were drinking, they were womanizing, especially Gauguin womanizing. They were drinking absinthe, a very, very toxic kind of drink. But they didn't have the money to do it. So this is worry over money. Magician, trying to create these wonderful works of art. There was a lot of competition between them. The Magician manifesting things. A very difficult situation. The Magician comes out with these wonderful paintings, and Van Gogh had done that. Vincent had created probably about 200 paintings during his stay at the Little Yellow House. And he'd been very prolific in all this stuff. And this is very much the Magician, creating these wonderful works of art. But no, it wasn't the voices. He had money troubles, but he was creating this art. I don't see anything there that's sort of telling me that, voices were driving him mad. I think probably Paul Gauguin was driving him mad and the drink was driving him mad. But No, I don't think that that was the case. Let's just see what else we've got here. So perhaps you weren't hearing voices, you weren't having ringing in your ears, but was it some form of self-harm? Was it just, things with Gauguin had got too much, you'd argued so much, and it was just self-harm. It was just purely self-harm. You'd had enough of always arguing with Gauguin, of the drink, of the women, of this very chaotic life, and you just self-harmed, and that is how you did it. You attacked yourself with this knife and removed part of your ear. Is that what happened? No, that's a lie. No, no, he didn't do that. Um, that's not the truth. Justice upright where, well, yes, I did do that. Ace of Swords, yes, that is the truth. I did do that. No, I didn't self-harm. I didn't self-harm. The justice in reverse. This wasn't the way it was. It's been said that that's the way it was, but that is not the truth. I was losing sleep. It was an awful situation. You see this little bed here. You can imagine that's what the yellow house was like, very bare floorboards. And you've got the yellow in the background here. Him and Gauguin, probably just fighting and arguing. And this is a little creature here asleep in his bed. You've seen the pictures of Van Gogh's little bedroom where he slept, in that little wooden bed, painted famously. And this sort of almost represents it. What a nightmare living in that situation was. But no, he didn't hurt himself. That's not true. That's been said all these years, but it is actually a lie. But he had such sleepless nights, and living with Paul Gauguin, the two of them were just a terrible, terrible partnership. So, if you didn't attack yourself because of ringing in your ears, because of voices, if you didn't attack yourself because of self-harm, because of the vile situation that you were in with Paul Gauguin, did Gauguin attack you? What happened? Vincent, did Gauguin attack you with a knife? Is that what happened? Did Paul attack you, Vincent? Did he come at you with a knife? Vincent, did Paul attack you with a knife? Ace of Wands. This was like such a fiery relationship. When I say passionate, I don't mean lovers passionate. I just mean you've got two very, very different men here. Van Gogh was very, very emotional. Very, very kind man, very emotional. Paul Gauguin was different. He was a harder character. They were both passionate about their arts, both loved women, both loved drink, but very, very different individuals. And this Ace of Wands, this whole thing on fire. Ace of Wands can be a very sort of great, passionate, creative start, but these two together, it literally put the house on fire. They were arguing and bickering and over everything, and of course add fuel to the flame in the form of absinthe, in the form of drink. Absolutely dreadful. This is a fire starter. So was Gauguin coming after you with a knife? Did Gauguin come after you with a knife? Is that what happened, Vincent? Did Paul attack you, Vincent? Seven of Pentacles. Okay, and let's have one more for Paul. Did Paul attack you, Vincent? The Seven of Pentacles, that is your card where you're trying to manifest something, you're trying to make something happen. Van Gogh, Vincent, wanted the little yellow house to be a creative hub, a very artistic house where other like-minded souls could come together. It was a very a very sweet idea that he had. This would be a creative, beautiful little yellow house where other artists would come and they create things. And, that was his dream. But Seven of Pentacles is sort of, oh my God, is this really happening? Is this worth all the effort? Is this worth the heartache? And he was looking at this thinking, my dream is not coming true here. This is not worth, I'm putting this effort into it, but I'm being thwarted by Gauguin. Gauguin didn't want this. He didn't want, the little yellow house to be open to other artists. He just wanted to doss there, do his art, and then go off, save enough money to go off. And I think Van Gogh, Vincent, felt very much, my dream is not coming true here. It's not worth all this heartache and anger and fighting. It's tainting this whole thing of mine. And the Two of Wands, yes, he's very much in limbo over this. He doesn't, more wands, more fire. He just doesn't know what to do. He's got this Gauguin on one side who was a friend. He's got the yellow house on the other. He needs the company. He wants the company, but it's very destructive. Ace of Wands, the fighting. So give me one more card. Was it Gauguin? Was it Gauguin? Are you protecting Gauguin? Vincent, are you protecting Gauguin? For whatever reason, he was your friend. Did he attack you? And you are protecting him. Is that what's happening? You're protecting Gauguin. Yeah. The Five of Pentacles, this is the outcast card. This is, these men were both outcasts. Vincent in his way, Gauguin in his way. They were great, great drinkers, great painters. They would be womanizers if they could get women, probably women from the brothel and that kind of thing. They would be very much sexual energy, this wands energy. But they were outcasts. They were two very sort of solitary figures together. And I think my actual feeling is that Gauguin attacked him. But because these two, although they were so fiery and they fought, I think that Vincent protected him in a way. Vincent had pushed his passion, his, we're doing it like this. Oh, Gauguin, stay, don't go, because I think Gauguin was going to go away, go off. And Van Gogh didn't want to be left alone. And Vincent saying to him, stay. And it all got very, very heated. And I think to protect himself, Gauguin lashed out at Vincent. He lashed out at him with a knife. Is that what happened, Vincent? Did he lash out at you with a knife? You're both two loners. And did Gauguin lash out at you with a knife? Yeah. King of Cups in reverse. This is just the unstable energy. This is mental insecurity. It's going off the deep end. A King of Cups in reverse. This is mentally ill, mental illness. I believe from this and from the feeling that I'm getting from this, Gauguin, to protect himself from Vincent coming at him, don't go, stay. Gauguin has slashed out with a knife, and it was Gauguin that actually severed either all of the ear or part of the ear. And then Gauguin, I believe, he leaves. Now, the next part of the story is that Van Gogh, dear Vincent, he wraps this ear in a cloth and takes it to the brothel, presented it to one of the women there called Rachel, who he was seeing, whom he had a thing for, liked very much, and presented it to Rachel. Is that what happened? Did you just take it as a love gift? Now that's what's sort of said, you gifted your ear to this prostitute, Rachel. Really? Is that what you did, Vincent? Well, look at all the bandages on this. Look at all the bandages. There was definitely a visit to the brothel. he didn't know what to do. The Two of Pentacles is, oh my God, what do I do now? You can imagine, this terrible incident has happened. Part of your ear has been removed. Someone's run off. What do you do? What to do? He didn't know what on earth to do. And look at this creature with the bandages all over. You'd be losing blood. You'd be really unstable about what your next piece of action should be. What should you do? The devil takes over. You really have no idea. And this devil here, it sort of represents the whole situation. This isn't an action, this is just the feeling around that night. This whole confrontation, the drink, just this whole excess of everything. So he went to the brothel. He made a decision. He went to the brothel. And I take it that Rachel was there. She received this bloody parcel, the son. Yeah, I mean, it put a spotlight on what had happened. I believe he needed help. Did you need help? Yes. Yes, needed help. And it was a way of just sort of saying, help me. It wasn't, oh, this is a love gift. It wasn't that at all. I mean, that's not what this energy is. This is like, it was such a bad situation. The last thing on his mind was presenting an ear to someone as a love token. He needed help. And the son is very much, help me to get the attention that I need, put some light onto this, otherwise I'm just going to collapse, get me to hospital, sort of shine a light on what's happened to me. So you were seeking help from the brothel. It's night, I assume. Was the brothel the only place that was open? Is that what it was? The brothel was just open. This awful energy around, this terrible situation. You didn't know where to go. You need someone to shine a light on what's happened. And I assume that the brothel was the only place open, Vincent. The only place open at that time. Wands. There's nowhere else to go. There's nowhere else to go. This fight had happened. This fight had happened. Battling energy here. Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, nowhere to go. He can't take himself off anywhere. He can't. It's as though you can get in a car and drive yourself to an emergency place. He can't sort the situation out on his own. He needs help. He needs help. Is that what it was, Vincent? You needed help. You needed help. Empress, yeah. So he went to Rachel, the Empress. It's funny to think of like a prostitute as an empress, but he loved her. He cared for her. This wasn't a token of my love for you. This was, Rachel, help me. This was this Sun card here. Put some light on it. Call someone. Get me help. This has happened. He did present it because of this fight, because of this terrible devilish energy. He didn't know what to do. The only place open at the early hours of the morning was a brothel. He had no idea how to take this situation forward because of this dreadful fight with Gauguin. So he went to the person that he thought would help him, would give him comfort, the Empress. And of course she would. And she's coming across as Empress energy because she's a woman who cared. They may have had a sexual relationship that was maybe based on money or what have you, but she was a caring woman in his life. So he went to her, and she didn't want a full-blown relationship with him. He was a client, but she cared enough that he wanted her to help him. The sun, shine a light on it. My opinion of this, and it's very different to what is normally in the history books over this, is that Van Gogh, dear Vincent, he had mental illness, of course he did, and the relationship with Paul Gauguin and the relationship with that bottle of absinthe and probably various venereal diseases, all of that is not going to help his mental situation. But it wasn't cutting off his ear because he heard noises or voices. It wasn't that sort of schizophrenic cutting off his ear, I don't believe, not from this. Um, it wasn't self-harm. It wasn't like a deliberate, I'm going to do this because I want Paul Gauguin to stay. But there was this massive fight. There was this massive attacking fight that was the devil, absolute devil, between him and Gauguin. And I believe Van Gogh, dear Vincent, is pushing Gauguin, please stay, please stay. And Gauguin's trying to get away from Van Gogh. And the only thing that he can do, he grabs his knife and he just lashes out, and part of his ear is removed. And because they're both very much, where is that card? There, because they're both very much outsiders and loners, and they brought out the worst in each other. I believe that Van Gogh never told anybody, that he didn't say, go to the police and say, oh, Gauguin's cut off my ear, by which stage Gauguin had probably long gone anyway. He just went. But in a way, Gauguin was protected by Vincent. I think Vincent thought, this was just the worst combination, us two together. And I did push it too far. I did take liberties and push too far. And, so he didn't tell. But he was in a state, what do I do? This creature here, what on earth do I do? So he just bundled up whatever there was of the ear, how much of it I don't know, and he needed help. So he ran to the only place that he knew would be open, which was the brothel at that time of night, to shine a light on this, to show, this has happened, help me. This is like, yes, I went to the brothel for help, to shine a light on what had actually happened because of this terrible fight. And I didn't know how to put it right. I didn't know what to do to sort myself out. So who did he go to? The Empress. He went to Rachel, who was one of the prostitutes there and who he knew. It wasn't a gift. It was, please help me. So that's what I think. That is what the cards are telling me. And I believe they're telling me through Vincent. I would love to hear what you think. It's such a sad, sad story. And, I would love to know what your thoughts are on this very alternative version of what could have happened all those years ago in that little house, that little yellow house in Arles. Anyway, you take care, and I'll be back again soon. Bye-bye.